an old Pacquiao is different. Like he didn't put out a lot against Mayweather for whatever reason, but he damn sure been punching the hell out of a lot of people since Mayweather. And I think he would have keep that same energy with Javante Davis.
You think
And
so?
and we got to remember that Manny Pacquiao would knock a nigga out too, yo.
No, Manny Pacquiao will knock a nigga out.
So like
Like I'm not gonna
it's,
make
I
the
mean, wow, it's wow.
I'm not gonna make the assumption that Manny Pacquiao won't knock a nigga out. I definitely agree with you. Manny Pacquiao will knock a nigga the fuck out. But I just thought, just basically just looking at Javante, you see a younger fighter, a younger, hungry
Pedraza,
fighter,
he
and I'm just
won.
go ahead.
I'm sorry, he won his first belt against Pedraza. He won the IBF belt. He defended it against Liam Walsh, and then he fought for the belt again. He lost the belt after he missed that fucking weight or whatnot. But Pedraza
Yeah.
was his first belt. Then Abner Mares was the other guy he beat.
Okay. So does he
Well,
still have the
Abner
belt now?
Mares is who he's up against now. I'm up against next, I should say.
Does he still have the belt or no?
Yes, he has it.
Oh, okay. Hopefully he
Yeah.
makes weight.
He has
Hopefully
a
he makes weight.
WBA the WBA Super World Super Featherweight title.
Okay.
And since we're at it, man, since I am on Box Rec, let me see if I can do this whole what if game that they have on here. So I'm going to type in Javante Davis, and I'm typing Manny Pacquiao right after that.
Yeah,
And
do
we'll
that,
see.
man.
We'll see
Do
how that
that,
happens.
man. Do that, man. Did you get a chance to see while you're doing that? Did you get a chance to see Fedor lose?
You know what? During the midst of that, Mark, I was
Yeah.
having a very important conversation. And I
Um.
was thinking to myself, oh, I can listen to this conversation for about 15 more minutes before I really need to concentrate on this fight. Bruh,
Mm-hmm. The conversation took longer than you thought it was going to.
bruh, nah. I just happened to look to my right because it was on my tablet. And I
Oh.
saw, bang! And I looked and I stopped the conversation with respect and said, yo, I was planning on listening to this the whole time and then watching this later on. But this shit just happened and I explained what happened and I just didn't see that happen, man. Wow.
Um. I did. I did. The people that he beat in the tournament. I mean, he beat Frank Mir, and let's be honest, Frank Mir is done and has been done
Yeah.
for a while. Frank Mir hasn't really been the same since Brock Lesnar. So you know what I'm saying. I mean, when you get honestly, I think it's most people don't realize how bad Frank Mir got beat by Brock Lesnar because like those strikes, you see those strikes that Frank Mir was getting hit with. You assume that okay, well, whatever you got punched up, whatever. You don't see the impact of it until you like really look at it, and then you really realize how big a motherfucker Brock Lesnar is, and he's just twerking his body because he's a freaking wrestler and he knows how to control bodies and shit, and he's twerking his body the right way to just deal just the extreme amounts of force into that man's face, and because it was terrible, and he just hasn't been the same since. So he beat Frank Mir, who's basically a shell of himself. He beat Chael Sonnen, and Chael Sonnen essentially was a light heavyweight. He wasn't heavyweight, so I knew the first time heading into this tournament, I knew the first time he actually had a true match was really against Ryan Bader, and I just knew that Ryan Bader actually has been actually a very good fighter. I think the only reason why he went to Bellator is because he couldn't beat John Jones and Rumble Johnson. Um, this pretty much it. He beat everybody else. So on his comeback or his road back to glory, so to speak. So I was looking at it and I was just like, well, I mean, this is going to be the first fighter he's fought that is actually has the ability to respond to whatever he does. Ryan Bader's a good wrestler. Fedor is, has great grappling skills with the Sambo background and all that. Ryan Bader has been known to knock a nigga out. I've seen him do it a couple times. A lot of those, if you watch any of those YouTube best knockouts in the UFC, whatever, he has a couple knockouts on those. Typically, he usually has one. He usually has at least the one where he knocks the dude out, the guy kind of flips in the air, and then he just backs off and looks at the ref, and the ref kind of stops him. That's usually his knockout, I think.
Bader the Fader.
Yeah. No, they call him Darth Vader. Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, I guess like whatever. I mean, for y'all niggas who know what Star Wars is, understand what a play is.
For those of you who don't, keep it moving.
Yeah, basically, like whatever. Anyways, so I mean, you have that as well, and like I said, man, I just knew that this is gonna be the first person in the tournament that he's fought that will be able to respond to whatever he does. We don't know how well, but he will be able to respond. And the nigga got knocked out by Metrione. And
Matt Mitrione.
And Ryan Bader pretty much beat the shit out of Metrione.
It's all over.
So I just kind of knew that. I was like, all right, well, we'll see. I mean, at the end of the day, like, fighting is really, the MMA is really, it's really, and it's a game of matchups, really. It's really just a game of matchups. So you'll see someone that, you'll be like, oh, man, that dude beat him. You know what I'm saying? You should be able to beat him, and you find out that, nah, that's not necessarily always the case. It's just a game of matchups. Nonetheless, when a motherfucker just beats the shit out of a nigga that, beat the shit out of you, it's kind of like, oh, okay, well, all right. You can kind of just assume that, that what's going to happen. And, all in all, I kind of figured it was going to happen. Basically, I said all that to say, I kind of figured that was going to happen. I didn't know he was just going to clock him 1-1, really, honestly. I thought it was going to be a little bit more than that, but I kind of figured he was going to catch him. I figured he was going to catch him. Because the nigga's old.
Before I comment on the fight, I want to go back and say, I tried the box rec thing, the what if Gervonta Davis and Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao is sitting at welterweight, and he's at super featherweight, so they're not even close enough in weight to let me do that, which further confirms to me
your point.
that Manny Pacquiao will really hurt that man. Just like this young kid named Ryan Garcia, he was talking mad trash to. He's one of a dude in Oscar De La Hoya's stable. Talking mad trash to Gervonta Davis, and they were talking about sparring. And for the age matchup, for the maturity matchup, man, Gervonta Davis would have beat that kid ass just on the strength of maturity. And that would happen with him and Manny Pacquiao. Like, Manny Pacquiao started off boxing at 118. This man fighting 147. 47 now, man. Like, he just beat Adrian Broner. I don't think Gervonta Davis will knock him out at all.
Mm-hmm. Well,
at all.
We know Gervonta will let his hands go. So, we know that.
Yeah, yeah. There's plenty of people let their hands go when Pacquiao be throwing their punches. When Pacquiao be throwing them punches, though, bro. Like, that's the thing.
No, Pacquiao do be throwing them punches. What I'm saying to you is this with Pacquiao. This is the thing. And I'll say this. This is the thing, right? I'm interested to see what Pacquiao can do with a highly skilled black fighter with, mind you, I still like
not named Mayweather.
That is not Mayweather. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's what made the Broner fight somewhat interesting because it was a situation. Really was the only reason why I almost think that Mayweather gave Broner did Broner a favor because he said, "Okay, I will fight whoever wins this fight," essentially making Pacquiao take the fight.
No. I don't think Mayweather said that. I think we, as fans, suggested that to Floyd Mayweather. Because Floyd Mayweather is operating as a retired boxer. You know what
maybe.
I'm saying? He's
But you don't
operating
think
as a top.
you don't think he'll get another payday though? He'll take another
Oh,
payday.
absolutely. He'll take
He'll
another
take the payday.
payday.
He'll
He'll
take
take
another
another
payday.
payday.
And then
There-
he knows he can beat Pacquiao. At this point, he
Yeah.
knows he can beat Pacquiao.
Like this is the worst case scenario for boxing right here. I'm finna set it up to you where I think this will be bad for boxing. The
Okay.
worst case scenario is that Keith Thurman, who just returned from a 22-month hiatus at welterweight, if he just won last night,
Yeah, so I saw.
well,
Well, I didn't
Saturday,
see
yeah.
it, but I saw that he was fighting.
And he just won, and he called out Manny Pacquiao. Let's say that he fights Manny Pacquiao, and Manny Pacquiao beats him. Manny Pacquiao wins his actual welterweight title, one of the important belts. And then Manny Pacquiao defends that belt against Mayweather, and Mayweather wins that belt.
Oh well,
That would be
yeah,
bad for boxing, bro.
that'd be the worst thing for boxing. Actually,
Yeah, that would
it'd
be
be the
bad for
worst.
boxing, man.
It'd be the worst. The
Because
worstest.
and I'm saying that because I don't think that Keith Thurman can beat Manny Pacquiao. I don't trust Keith Thurman to beat Manny Pacquiao. I think Keith Thurman has been depressed. I think he went and got married and found happiness somewhere other than the boxing ring.
Love
And I
and
think
happiness.
that man, Mr. Ponytail, Mr. One Time Keith Thurman, who helped get me back into boxing for real, bless his heart. I believe he's looking for that Manny Pacquiao payday to ride out because he spent his career trying to get that Mayweather fight that he never could get. So he
Mm.
gonna cash out on this Manny Pacquiao because Manny Pacquiao will fight him. So they both just won recently, within weeks of each other. They both have belts. His is important. Manny Pacquiao's not important, but it can be a legacy fight. And also, Manny Pacquiao, he beats Keith Thurman. It kind of puts his career on a is it better than Mayweather's
Mayweather.
level type career because he just fought one of these guys. And if he beats Keith Thurman, then of course you got Errol Spence maybe, Terrence Crawford maybe. Like Manny Pacquiao would end up getting knocked out by one of those guys, but at the end of the day, the fact that he actually fought him, bro, that dude, it's almost like he wanted to do the fights in black and white.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean,
Legendary, bro.
and then you know,
And I said all that to say he'll whoop Javante Davis's ass.
all right, that's cool. I mean,
Now back now
that's
to
cool
the
that you feel that way, though,
to the
bro.
Ryan the
It's cool
Ryan
that
Bader fight.
you feel that way, bro.
Oh, the Ryan Bader fight. You look, I love knockouts, but one thing I don't like about some of them, I don't like to see weird punch knockouts, man. I like to see like nice and clean knockouts. I don't like to see that knockout from a man who didn't know if he was throwing a jab or a hook at the time. Like that was just a weird punch to catch that man with, but it caught his ass and it rocked him to sleep, man.
You must not like Chuck Liddell then,
I mean, it's not that I don't like Chuck Liddell.
because he made a
Some
whole
of
career of
those,
just doing that shit.
it just seems like it just seemed unnatural from Ryan Bader. I don't know, man. I didn't know Ryan Bader was that much bigger than that man. First of all,
He got bigger. He got bigger. I mean, he's a light heavyweight champ, so he got bigger to fight him. And I honestly think that Ryan Bader looked at it and thought that, I probably get bigger and I probably retain my power, kind of deal. And so, through that week, I mean, it wasn't a good fight in the sense of it wasn't a good fight in the sense of it wasn't exciting, and it's not Ryan Bader's fault. I mean, Fedor needed to get out of there. In my honest opinion, Fedor just needed to get out of there.
yeah, it was
And he's
time.
one of those guys that, he's one of those guys. He's won so fucking much. So it's hard to tell him, hey, my nigga, like, wrap it the fuck up. It's hard to
Yeah.
tell him that because he done beat up everybody. So, I mean, you going to tell Fedor to get, you're going to tell Fedor that. And then,
Nah, what you do, you get Ryan Bader and you say, you tell
you know,
him.
kind of how they, and honestly, kind of how, like, they did, I mean, it's a tournament, so technically they didn't do anything. But it's kind of how they did not what's his name? It's Chuck Liddell. Who's the other one? The natural. The natural.